Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. They'll be learning about the Rubicon and how students can take part in it. And my guest today, Naomi Perez, the editor-in-chief of the Rubicon. Thanks for joining her today.
Thank you.
And now, first and foremost, for folks who don't know, what is the Rubicon? Because obviously a lot of people would associate it with a river.
Right.
But we're not talking about people throwing things into a river. What are they submitting to here?
Basically what the Rubicon is, it's a student-run journal that publishes student writing. So we're showcasing poems, short stories, plays, essays, research papers, anything like that, anything written by students.
By students. So it's an opportunity for students to get published and have their work put out there. So obviously that's got to be a benefit for students to be able to go and show off, say, hey, look, I've gotten my work published.
Right, exactly. We're giving students a medium to share their work with others, get some comments back on it, some feedback. We're helping students get published who maybe wouldn't get published at this level in their career right now, and just kind of give them that experience.
And with that respect, they don't have to be professional level writers in order to be part of this, right?
Right. No, this is for students. We understand it's students writing, so there's room for work. But part of that is just kind of giving those students the chance to share regardless. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be just an opportunity for them.
Now let's talk about it. Right now you're accepting submissions for the Rubicon. Talk about that process and how students can get involved and submit their work.
Okay. Well, students can submit any kind of writing. Like I said, it doesn't have to be on a specific topic. It doesn't have to be a specific length. They submit to litjournal@troy.edu, and we're trying to get all our submissions in by the 5th of September.
Okay, and so once somebody submits, what is the process from that point? Because obviously everyone who submits isn't going to make it into the journal, right?
Yes, unfortunately, we're limited in how many pieces we can publish simply because the more pieces we publish, the more pages it takes, and it's a cost. And so the way it works is they submit to us, the Rubicon editorial staff looks at all the pieces, we take a vote, it's very democratic, and then the pieces that are chosen, they're notified, the pieces aren't chosen, they're also notified. And we usually try and get that all done within, I'd say, at least a month, 3 weeks tops. You'll know whether you're in or you're not.
And about how many pieces do you traditionally have in the Rubicon? And we'll compare submissions to the number that actually make it in there.
Usually we have between 30, 35, 40 pieces, and we pick 25. We try and keep it at that level, like I said, simply because of the cost, and also because we work very closely with the graphic design program, and so each piece has an illustration to go with it.
Okay, and now when someone is submitting, obviously, what's some tips that you have for them? Obviously, does it need to be, how polished does it need to be? How are you going to work with people when they submit stuff, or does it need to be something that's a finished work? Right.
Unfortunately, because of time constraints, we don't have time to workshop with the writers. So what I advise to students is to do, we're looking for more polished works. Not perfect, but polished. So before you submit, look over it, share it with somebody, go to an English professor. We have the Creative Writing Guild on campus that you can workshop your work with. Or better yet, join the Rubicon editorial staff, because if you're on staff, that doesn't mean you can't submit. Show it to other like-minded individuals who are used to reading critically before you submit.
And now the Rubicon this year, a little bit different for this fall.
Right.
You're going to have a little bit of a theme going on. Tell us about the theme this year.
Yes, we don't require it to be a specific content when you submit, but we're hoping to spotlight veteran writing. So any kind of writing by veterans, about wartime, that kind of thing. We're trying to kind of spotlight those people, work closely with the VA, with the veterans on campus, alumni as well, and hopefully publish by I believe November, around November.
So you want to try to, you're trying to get the publishing date near Veterans Day.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Tying it all in together so you get a chance to get it out there for folks. So, and you said it doesn't necessarily have to be about veterans, but if you've got the piece, that might bump you to the top of the list then, right?
Exactly, because that's something that we feel very passionate about.
Okay, now if anyone out there, once again, would like to submit something, how do they go about submitting?
They can submit to litjournal@troy.edu online, or they can, go to Smith Hall, Dr. Robertson. He is our sponsor. You can submit it there.
Okay. Well, good luck with this year's Rubicon, and maybe we'll get a chance to hear from you a little bit closer to the publishing date to find out about what you've got going on then.
Of course, I'd love to do that.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.